I'm Justin Somaini, and I have trust issues. If you do too, you're in the right place. Look, our industry is built on suspicion. Skepticism isn't a personality flaw for us. It's a job requirement. We verify before we trust, we assume breach, we question everything. So when I was thinking about what to call this podcast, trust issues just felt honest. Plus, my wife thought it was funny, and Lord knows I need the points when I can get them. Welcome to Somaini's Trust Issues, a podcast about security innovation where we will identify the current waves of innovation and select key founders building companies in them, ultimately cutting through the noise to find out what actually matters. Let me paint a picture of what I'm guessing will feel familiar. You're a security leader, maybe you're a CISO, a CSO, you're running a major security function reporting to one. Your job is essentially defend a moving target against the adversaries who don't sleep, don't have compliance requirements, and definitely don't care about your roadmap. The threat landscape evolves constantly. Technology stack in your company runs on changes constantly. They want everything faster, ship faster, scale faster, transform faster, which means your security program has to keep pace or get left behind. So the innovation isn't optional. You need new solutions. You need startups that are thinking differently about the problems legacy vendors haven't solved. But here's the challenge. Right now, there are roughly 700 companies at seed, Series A, and Series B across the US, Europe, and Israel. 700. And that number keeps growing. Somewhere in that pool are genuinely category-defining startups building technology that could transform how we defend your organization. And somewhere in that pool are companies that are, let's just say they're better at marketing than engineering. Who has time to sort through 700 early-stage companies? You're busy running a program, managing a team, briefing the board, responding to incidents, and somehow also trying to have a life outside of work. The result, great companies get overlooked, mediocre companies get attention because they have the right connections or the loudest booth at RSA, and security leaders end up making decisions based upon incomplete information. That's the problem I want to help solve. Now, you might be wondering, why should you listen to me on this? Fair question. Here's the short version. I spent 30 years in security as an operator. I've been a CISO at Symantec, Yahoo, SAP, Unity, and others. I built security programs from scratch and had programs that need a complete rebuild. I've dealt with just about every kind of organizational complexity you can imagine, from pre-IPO chaos to Fortune 100 bureaucracy. And for several years, I've been on the other side of the table, working in venture capital, investing in early-stage security companies, sitting on boards and helping founders figure out how to build products that security leaders actually want to buy. That combination of operator plus investor gives me a rare and unique perspective. I spend my days talking to founders, digging into technology and pattern matching across hundreds of companies to identify innovation waves that are actually worth paying attention to. This podcast is my way of sharing that access to you. Also, I want to be clear. This is independent. I'm not doing this on behalf of any firm. I'm not taking sponsorships. No one's paying to be on this show. The whole point is to maintain the one thing in our industry that we value the most, integrity. So when I bring someone on, it's because I genuinely believe they're building something worth your time. So what exactly is Somaini's Trust Issues? At its core, it's a show about security innovation, specifically the startups and the founders that will drive innovation forward. About 80% of the shows will be me sitting down with founders, not having them give a sales pitch, but to understand their story. What's their background? Why is the problem they wanted to solve so important? And more importantly, how are they solving it? The other 20% of the episodes will round out the conversation. I'll bring on fellow investors to talk about where they're seeing deals and what's getting funded. CISOs and security leaders to share how they're evaluating new technologies from the buyer's seat, and occasionally other voices to add depth and perspective to the themes that we're exploring. The goal is to help you stay ahead of the curve, to surface the companies worth watching at seed A and B before everyone else catches on and before Gartner Magic Quadrant catches up. Think of it as a curated feed for the future of security. I'll do the digging, you get the signal. In terms of logistics, here's what to expect. New episodes will drop every 2 weeks to start. Depending on how things go, we might move to weekly. Each episode will be conversational, so if you're looking for a corporate polish and scripted talking points, this probably is not the show for you. If you want honest, direct conversation about what's actually happening in security, with maybe a little bit of sarcasm thrown in, stick around. The show will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I'm sure others. Subscribe to whichever platform you prefer. And if you want to stay connected between episodes, follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I'll be posting updates, sharing thoughts on the market, and continuing the conversation. I'm doing this because I think our community deserves better signal. And because after 30 years in this industry, I've developed some opinions. Might as well share them. Thanks for listening to episode 1. Subscribe now if you don't want to miss what's coming, and I'll see you in the next one.